Okay, so thank you so much for that question, Mishak. After so much has been said, that is so insightful. Um, Number one point that I'll mention is start from where you are, not where you wish you were. So I did not begin as a developer or consultant. I began as a cleaner and a driver. And believe you me, just like Sekun has said, I carried a lot into who I am today from those two roles that I was in. And I still transitioned into a remote Salesforce role, first as an implementation consultant and as an admin. So you need to ask yourself, what is the next skill, not the next title that moves me forward? That shift alone will unlock that momentum that you need. And point number two is use community to close the resource gap. I do not know what, well, words fail me when I want to talk about the community because it played a huge role in my journey. When training felt too expensive and I had no equipment, online communities, mentorship programs, and free learning platforms became my classroom. We have Trailhead. It's free to use Trailhead. And then engage actively in trailblazer groups, in the local user groups and initiatives that like Africa or HANA, where you get talent accelerators because they compress your learning curve and they give you guidance that you'll not get studying alone. So please embrace the community. If you want to be successful, I repeat, embrace the community. You get a lot. And there are people who are always, they're willing to give back for free. Use that chance to grow your career. Number three, build credibility through consistency, not perfection. So there is something so unique about your brand. Everyone has a brand, but it is your choice whether you want your brand to be successful or not. If you want to be known or not, it all lies in your hands. Nobody will make you famous, nobody will make you known, but it is you. So in your first year or in your early career as in the Salesforce ecosystem, your brand is built by small, repeatable behaviors, showing up on time, doing what you say, asking questions, documenting your work, sharing your progress publicly on platforms like LinkedIn. Those who have been under my mentorship know how much I scream brand visibility, show yourself, tell the world what you're capable of. You've got those talents, you've got that skill. Don't leave it hidden. Show it up, show it off. And those patterns helped me to move from my first certification to landing remote roles and speaking on global stages. And they're available to anyone who is willing to be consistent. So consistency is key. The last point that I'll give here is position yourself visibly for the opportunities you want. So in the Salesforce ecosystems, that can mean ecosystem, that can mean earning certifications, showcasing real projects in your personal org. I always talk about that a lot, contributing to community events and being vocal about the problems you are passionate about solving in business. So when people can clearly see what you do and what you care about, it becomes much easier for them to think of you when roles or collaborations come up. You need to put yourself in the mind of people. When somebody thinks of an opportunity to say, I need somebody who can do this for me, it should be easy for them to know you or to remember you because you are constantly visible on their social media, on their LinkedIn. So I'll be very honest, guys. Sometimes you have to come out of that cocoon. You have to you have to get rid of that inferiority complex. You have to be confident about yourself in order to be successful in Salesforce. Believe you me, it works. Thank
I
you.
would I would not just say Salesforce, right? I think I think what we're talking about is transformational and transferable skills. What we're talking about goes beyond Salesforce, because you have to remember, Salesforce is a platform company. Every customer you engage with is another customer or a company. It's another industry. It's all these realities. So when you say Salesforce, it doesn't just mean Salesforce. It means, can you work with a hospital? Can you go work with a park and recreation service? There's government entities. There's all types of things. So think about that transformational skill that you're taking with you. But it's not just about Salesforce. It's business knowledge. As you go to Trailheads, as you talk to the community, as you do these things, you're picking up on narratives and stories that you can then apply when you go in front of a customer. When you go in front of that partner, in front of that interviewer. You've taken all these pieces and you can tell the story.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sheldon. This goes beyond Salesforce. So, Jennifer, I have one more question for you. You've talked about being visible, being consistent, and of course, you've talked about being part of a community. And we all know, like, you've done a very great work with the community in Africa, Africa Ohana, and being involved even with the community in West Africa. Right now, there are a lot of people that have seen what you've done and they admire what you've done, right? So what advice will you give to those looking to build similar support networks? I know there are a lot of people that are building communities, even on the Africa Ohana. I know there's a community in Kenya, right? But for those looking to start, or those that have just started, right? Yeah, Margaret is here. So for those that are looking to start or have just started, right? What advice will you give to those looking to build similar networks based on your experience?
Okay. So I'll tell you that in order for you to start, in order for you to be successful, in order for you to enjoy your journey, make sure that, so there are 3 things that have worked for me: mentorship, community, and advocacy. They are not side projects in my career, but they're the backbone of it. So I would advise that get a mentor. Get a mentor. Never underestimate. Sorry, I think my network is lagging.
Okay.
Okay. So get a mentor. You need an accountability partner. You need somebody to share your joys, your frustrations with. So early on, mentors and global trailblazers opened my eyes to what is impossible, to what was possible. So through programs and connections across the Salesforce ecosystem, people who had never met me in person took time to guide me, to share their paths, and to believe in me before I truly believed in myself. And that support alone helped me to move from my first certification to leading projects and eventually thinking of Africa Ohana. And I'll also talk about community engagement. You need to engage with the community. You need to make friends. You need to have a community to fall back on. Sometimes we need that sense of belonging when we're in the Salesforce ecosystem. You need to belong somewhere. That will be a push factor on its own. Sometimes I get so worried about some programs that will come up, especially I'll talk about Africa. That will come up, opportunities that will come up for Africans, for Africa trailblazers. And you ask people to apply for that program. You will find only 5 applicants from Africa, and the rest will come from other regions. I will say, if there's an opportunity that comes up, you don't lose anything by signing up and being part of it. When you want to be successful in a Salesforce career, you need to invest in you need to invest your time. You need to invest everything you have so that you can learn. I remember when I started off, the person who introduced me to Salesforce said, Jennifer, you need to invest in your career for you to be successful. And it made sense eventually, because at first I thought about Okay, certification, $200. Where do I get it from? I was doing the maths. My budget was already on minus $5,000. I'm thinking, where the hell will I get $200 from? But I remembered his words, invest in yourself, because you are eventually going to enjoy. Right now, we have these platforms that are giving us training for free. We've got so many free opportunities. You don't lose anything by signing up and learning. You are investing in yourself, you are upskilling, and you're becoming a better person. You're getting the knowledge, you're getting everything all for free. So please, I will mention this one more time. Get a mentor, be part of a community, and be visible. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. So once again, get a mentor, be part of a community, and be visible. All right. So, Renee, I have one more question for you. Then one more question for Demi, and then we'll move to the Q&A session. All right. So, Renee, my next question is actually about balancing depth with broader exposure. Right. I think one of the confusion for most people when they come into the Salesforce ecosystem is how broad Salesforce is, right? There are over 40 something certifications, right? And sometimes you get confused, right? Do I go deeper in a particular area, or do I broaden my skill set even within the ecosystem, right? Do I go deep, or do I go wide? So it's kind of confusing because sometimes you feel you don't want to just limit yourself maybe to just a particular area, right? But on the other hand, if you decide to spread yourself too thin, you might not have enough time to go deep in a particular area. So my question is, right, what advice do you have for people balancing specialization, that's with gaining broader Salesforce knowledge, right? How do you balance depth with width?